been waiting all day for Sunday night. It's a Sunday night showdown on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We are set to go for the Midgets at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Week number 6 is officially underway for the 2023 summer season. High, wide, and handsome racetrack. Any groove is possible for the Midgets. Later on tonight, the late models go to their home of the Cedar Lake Speedway for week number 6 as well. Both grooves as well possible here at this racetrack. Just don't end up in that happy fountain. Getting set to go here for the Wingless Warriors, brought to you by the Salty Dog Race Team. So glad you could join us, everyone, here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Mari Sagala with you alongside Isaac Salas, getting set to go for another edition. So Isaac, we've got the Midgets at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We should be in for a treat here tonight.
Yeah, so far I think it's gonna be pretty multi-groove racing from what I got to experience here in a little bit of practice. And man, the times when the track started to slick off a little bit actually closed up some, so I think it might be pretty stout.
Absolutely. We got late models as well later tonight at Cedar Lake. We'll get to it in just a bit. But as you can see, we have gridded the field up. We are just moments away from getting set here with Heat Race number 1. Heat 1 of the evening is brought to you by our good friends at Flatline Racing Bodies. And let's give you the starting lineup for the first Heat Race tonight. It's Dan McLaren, who is on pole position. He lines up next to Steve Maurer in the 888. Row number 2, the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson, just coming off his first career Renegades win last week. Next to the New Hampshire Rocket, it's Aiden Young in car number 69. Row number 3, rounding out the field, Pat Boyce in the number 41 to the outside of the Brewer to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. 18 drivers make up the car count tonight. For the Coast to Coast Wingless Warriors. Week number 6 on a Sunday night. Give you a brief glimpse of the point standings coming on in. And right now it's Brandon Templeton with the lead. A 2-point advantage on Randy Shreve. Steven Spees third. He is 30 points behind. Then 51 points back, Pat Boyce in 4th. And finally 58 back in 5th, Jeff Barker. Templeton's been the real deal so far this season, Isaac. 3 wins on the season. Who could stop him tonight from getting number 4?
Oh man, I think my biggest money here is probably on somebody like Aiden Young. We love when Aiden Young can show up to a race, so.
We'll just have to see what goes down. McLaren and Maurer will bring us to green. Winner on pole for tonight's 30-lap feature. It is underway here at Charlotte. McLaren comes away with the advantage as they slide through turn number 2. Underneath this is Tyler Wilson for the runner-up position, and he gets that, but look at Aiden Young rocking the Larry White line. All the way up top, a lot of room underneath them. Young up to the 4th position, but lap 1 led by Dan McLaren. You see Maurer, though, with no yaw in turn number 2. Move Young up to P3, but here comes Wilson for the lead, Isaac.
Yep, and that bottom line is pretty quick here. Oh, we got contact in the back.
Steve Maurer in the 888. Off the pace. He keeps his ride going, but we watch our eyes back up to the front of the field for the race lead. Young makes this a 3-car show. We're on board with him, Isaac.
Yep, and Young's kind of rocking that middle to top line that you used to see all the time. Oh,
hang
got a lot of
on.
yaw. Oh, contact.
Wow, what a save for Aiden Young. Normally, when you go up on top of one of those Hoosier sneakers, you're done for. But we've got a new leader. Wilson takes it to the point, Isaac, as we're halfway home in Heat 1.
Yeah, Wilson says thank you for that and tries to check on out of here. And Aiden's right on back, actually, after that contact there. And so, I mean, so is Dan. They're both right up on him.
We've got to be careful once again. Nearly hits the right rear Hoosier sneaker up on the outside of the 88 for the runner-up spot. And here comes Pat Boyce of the 41, who nearly sends it in, but had no yaw in 1 and 2. This time it's the New Hampshire Rocket underneath for the runner-up position. McLaren looks to shoot the gap. He doesn't have a run on the outside. Wilson still hanging on for right now. Here comes McLaren underneath, Isaac.
Yep, and they're almost Hoosier to Hoosier every time that they get to the corner here, but I'm really loving that like diamond line from what I'm seeing, and they're all just kind of running that middle line as well from here on out, I think.
1 lap to go in heat race number 1 for Tyler Wilson. 0.3 of a second advantage on Dan McLaren and Aiden Young. Doesn't look like they'll have anything as Young and McLaren race for the second spot. Tyler Wilson wins heat 1. He's on pole tonight. McLaren second, Young in third, Boyce fourth, Barker fifth, Maurer sixth.
Can you tell I've been watching a whole lot of racing here, especially late model racing, Hoosier to Hoosier?
So now we move on to heat race number 2. Heat 2 brought to you by Langdon Mechanical. Here's the starting lineup. Isaac Salas starts on pole position next to the 31 of Brandon Templeton, your points leader. Row number 2, Gentleman Jack hit in the 217. Next to the Desert Demon, Terry Landis is in the 161. Row number 3 on the inside, Jeff Kemper in the 181. Next to the Salesman, Blake Chapman in car number 20. Alrighty, Isaac, I will put you on mute briefly, but best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
So Solace in that Venom Racing number 5 starts on pole position. Got 1 lap until we take the green flag. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat here. I know it's a Sunday night. A lot of people watching the Super Dirt Car Series race at Weed Sport. Some people probably still tired after the Kings Royal from Eldora. But good crowd with us here tonight for Sunday Night Showdown. Winner starts the outside of the front row. Isaac Salas and Brandon Templeton will bring us to the green flag. Heat race number 2 is on. Templeton falls back to second while Salas takes the lead early. The 31 tries to crisscross. Underneath he goes, the dirt track bank machine. Jack hit back in the 3rd spot. Landis in fourth. Oh, look out! Brandon Templeton hit a Tory tire and is back in the 5th position. And so Salas leads lap number 1, but here comes Jack Hitt trying to close in on him. Right on board with the 217. Blake Chapman, your biggest mover in this heat at the moment. He's up 3 positions from 6th to 3rd. Hitt though looks underneath. Salas shuts the door just briefly on him. Keeps the middle groove working. Hitt keeps the low groove working. You see Templeton there in the background trying to regain ground after hitting that tire on lap number 1. No notable damage from him from the looks of it. But top 5 were nose to tail for a bit. And Templeton's the quickest driver to 15.96. Meanwhile, here comes Blake Chapman closing in on the top 2 for the race lead. It though looks down low once again as we've got 3 laps to go in heat race number 2. It's a 3-car battle for the outside of the front row. Salas, Hitt, Chapman, maybe even under Terry Landis into the game. Chapman looks on the outside for just a brief moment. Hitt shuts the door on him. Chapman tries once more as you watch from our aerial shot. Here goes Hitt underneath. That was tight. Coming to the white flag, 1 lap to go. 3 cars a chance to win this heat. Oh, look at this. Hitt's got to run off turn number 2. Chapman may have something as well. He decides to back out of it for right now. Chapman underneath Hitt. That's just what Salas needs. Or is it? Off of 4. 3 wide to the line. Jack Hitt steals it. Call a cop. 300ths of a second. Oh, baby. What happened?
Oh man, I think we were 3 wide right there coming to the line.
We were.
I was nervous.
But anyway,
Anyway.
We now move on to heat race number 3, brought to you by Top Notch Trucking. And here's a look at the starting lineup. Joseph Granny starts on the pole position, but no call for him to the grid, which means move up the third place driver to the pole. That's the 70 of Mike Kramer. He starts next to the 56, driven by Randy Shreves. Row number 2, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. And next to him, it's the 7, driven by Bob DeGood. Rounding out the field in heat race number 3, that's the 07 of the Outlaw, Preston Cranmer. Update, by the way, if you are not tuned into Dirt Vision, Super Dirt Car Series just did the redraw. How about this? Stuart Friesen, the final one to draw, and he starts on pole next to the doctor, Danny Johnson.
Yeah, I just looked over and saw the lineup here, and that looks like it's going to be a barn burner, man. Holy smokes.
Oh, I can't wait for sure. Friesen, last one at the port in this race back in July.
Hey, that's Dean on the bottom.
Yeah, that is Dean.
This just in, we can see Dean on the Dirt Vision broadcast.
Yes, alrighty. Now moving on here to heat race number 3. 5 drivers. Again, everybody makes it into the show. Mike Kramer, Randy Shreves, the front row, ready to bring us to the green flag. Let's go. Shreves with the lead just briefly off of turn number 2. Looks like a 5-hole on the dice. Oh, Mike Kramer, hang on.
Mike.
Ouch. Head-on shot, and around goes the 70. So we've got a 4-car race for the lead. Patrick Spangler from technically 5th. Oh, look out, there's contact to Good and Cranmer for 3rd. But it's Patrick Spangler that leads lap number 1. As I was saying, he was set to start 5th, moved up to 3rd, and now he leads lap number 2. Behind them, Isaac, Bob DeGood, and Preston Cranmer having a fun race for the 3 spot.
Oh yeah, they're actually, I mean, I'm kind of loving the little bit of different lines here that they're getting to run here. So like, one's running a little bit higher. I want to say that's Preston that's running the middle, and Bob's just right around the bottom here. And it's good to see the momentum kind of versus the shorter way around.
Actually starting to close in on the 56 of Randy Shreves. Halfway home this time by 4 up and 4 down. Mike Kramer, by the way, after the lap 1 incident, decided to take it to the pits. He starts for the last position tonight. But Patrick Spangler is starting to put on a whooping on Randy Shreves. 0.7 of a second advantage. Let's check the lap times here as they come across the start-finish line. Shreves was 0.08 better, but Kramer was the quicker driver that time, Isaac. He's got a run.
Oh, yeah. And he's here. He's right on the outside. I think that momentum's
he got slid up to shut the door. Kramer counted it back. Crisscross applesauce. Kramer to P3.
I'm loving this tight racing, man. Even on a big track.
Good, trying to see if he can fight back. 1 lap to go in heat race number 3. And it's the driver of the number 39 Training Wheels Racing Ride, Patrick Spangler, through 3 and 4. The high side banger. Patrick Spangler wins heat 3. Shreves, Kramer, DeGood, followed by Mike Cranmer. That's how they finish up. So that will do it for heat races. Now time for the Osh Weekend Speedway warm-up. We'll step aside briefly. Knoxville Nationals coming up around the corner here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Here are some more details for you. Knoxville Raceway, they're lean, they're mean, they're 700 horses of man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. Here come the Cool Ray Coast to Coast Racing League Sprint Cars and the Mike Westbrook Memorial for the Knoxville National. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Green, Spangler, green flag, showtime at Knoxville National for green. Join us for the 4th annual Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals for the Steve King Foundation. July 31st to August 3rd. 4 days of open 360 Knoxville action using the Knoxville National scoring system. $200 in payouts as well as loads of door prizes. $10 early bird entry by midnight Sunday, July 17th, then $15 for Coast to Coast members and $20 for non-Coast to Coast members. Max I rating has to be 3,000. All entries open to the first 100 drivers. 100% of registration fees go directly to the Steve King Foundation. All races will be broadcast on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. For more info, go to C2CRL.com. It's showtime. Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Mari Scala alongside Isaac Salas with you. Warm-ups finishing up here, and yes, we are pumped up for the Knoxville Nationals. I consider it the biggest race of the year for the Coast to Coast Racing Leagues. On a solid honor, great charity in the Steve King Foundation, that's for sure. So watching warm-ups here at the moment, Terry Landis, the quickest at a 15.94. Isaac, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I love all the events that we put on, but man, I feel like when we get into Knoxville Nationals, like intensity level is something else, man. Like you're happy for finishing like fourth or something, you know, in a prelim night. You're like, oh my, I just finished fourth, and then you're like, oh yeah, we have 3 nights left to go.
Yeah. Week-long event from Monday through Thursday. I will be broadcasting the first night of qualifying along with the final, and we cannot wait for it. More details, C2CRL.com, along with the schedule and how the system's going to work. We cannot wait for it, that's for sure. So 12 drivers have taken time, 13 drivers rather have taken time for hot laps in the warm-up, and it's Terry Landis the quickest at a 15.94. So with that being said, we are just about set to go racing, and we are looking forward to this one. Let's meet the field. Here is your catalytic recovery starting lineup. On the pole position, it's the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson, in car number 42, next to Gentleman Jack Hitt in the 217. Row number 2, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39, next to him it's Soupy, Dan McLaren in the 88. Row number 3, slide job, Isaac Salas in the 5, next to the 56 of Randy Shreves. Row 4, the New Hampshire Rocket, driven by Aiden Young, and next to him, it is car number 20 of the salesman, Blake Chapman. Row number 5, the Ayla Outlaw, Preston Kramer, starting next to the 41, driven by Pat Boyce. Row number 6, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis, the 161. Next to him, it's Bobby Good in the number 7. Row number 7, it's the 513 of the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Next to the 31, driven by Brandon Templeton. Row 8, the 70 of Mike Cranmer. Next to the 888 of Steve Maurer. Rounding out the field, the 181 of Jeff Kemper and the 518 of Joseph Grandy. No call from out of the grid, neither with Joseph Grandy. So, Isaac, we wish you the best of luck here in your race. We will go on board with you from time to time here, so we wish you the best, all right?
Awesome. Thanks, sir.
So we'll put Isaac on mute here for right now as we get set to go for this one. Feature tonight, 30 laps. Caution laps do not count as we begin week number 6 of the season as we're ready to conclude the first half of the summer. Yeah, it's crazy. Summer's pretty much just halfway over. It's wild. So, but we're set to go for the Lucy Olson start. So glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network on a Sunday night. The Macho Man and the Gentleman are ready to bring us to green. It's time to bring the action here at the dirt track at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Three wide for the lead down the back chute, and Gentleman Jack Hitt gets away with the slight advantage. Wilson and Spangler race for the second spot. We got one sideways in turn number 4. That was Pat Boyce, but we stay under the green flag. Off at turn number 2. Here comes McLaren. He looks to thread the needle on Spangler and Wilson. Oh, but there's a slight touch with the wheel of Spangler. He saves it though, luckily, as we keep going. Middle line, the best group to be at right now, but again, you want to be careful to try and save that right rear tire as much as you can. 3 wide for the 4th position. Now making for the 5th position with Blake Chapman caught up in the middle. Spangler heads on in that 3rd spot. Let's double box here with you and show you what it looks like to be Isaac Salas inside that race car, currently in the 7th position. Closing on McLaren for that 6th spot. Has it run underneath on the 88. Wow, it's hit that remains out in front on Spangler by a half second at the moment. This is a fun start to this one here at Charlotte. Trees back and forth. Blake Chapman rounds out the top 5. He's got McLaren downstairs to him. Looks to slide up. The two nearly make contact. Chapman loses the 5th position to Soupy. Now McLaren looks for some bite, but washes up the racetrack. Looks for 4th on Randy Shreves. Chapman looks to go 2 for 1. Decides not to, but watch out for Cranmer. Around he goes. First yellow flag is out. The first team Watson. Caution flag flies. That one you could just see coming. Give you another angle here as the field went off at turn number 2 down the back straight. Cranmer running in the 8th position at the time. Sends it in deep, tried to slide job Salas, and don't think he expected Blake Chapman to be there. So some slight body damage on the Ayla Outlaw race car. Give you an onboard here with Preston. All right, let's see what Isaac saw in that race car. Nice bullet dodged by Salsa. So we've got the field doubled up, ready to go back to the green flag. Hit selects the inside line for this restart. Him and Spangler make up row number 1. Tyler Wilson, Randy Shreves, row 2. Round the top 5 is Dan McLaren. Let's watch this from the Chapman Racing drone as we're set to come back to the green flag. Three by 3 off of turn 2. They nearly went 4 wide for the 3rd position. As hit, hold, serve, and now they're 4 wide in turn 4 briefly. Randy Shreves hangs on to that 4th position, but you've got the race for the lead happening up front. Here goes Spangler on the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. Can he get the lead? Entering turn number 3. Hit with the slider. Slides up in front of the 39 and holds on to serve for right now. Back to the race for 3rd, and that is a wild one. Shreves and Wilson for the 3 spot. And you've got Hit and Spangler up front for the race lead. Let's double box this one and show you what Salas is seeing inside that race car. Spangler underneath, throws the slide, job on Hit. Hit counters back, the gentleman takes the lead back. Shreves now makes this a 3-man horseshoe for the race lead. 3/10 behind the 217. 56 car looks around the outside. Spangler with some nice bite off of 2. Yellow is out, we got trouble. Salas is upside down. Second yellow of the day, and Salas has to get a tow, unfortunately. And let's show you what happened. It's caught the wall, and Brandon Templeton also involved in this one as well. Right on board with Isaac. Yep, just the right rear just barely caught that wall, and he is on for the ride. Look at that. You didn't even see below the clay. So he is told to see if he can get back out there in time. Will be very tough. Alrighty, let's see here. Isaac, you watching with us for the rest of this one?
It depends if there's a caution in this first lap or not. If there's no caution in this first lap, I'll just come back.
Okay, sounds good. I'll keep your mic on then for right now.
Let's see, there's 6 seconds and I got 16 seconds of towing.
Alright, see what happens here as we come back to the green flag. 12 laps up on the board this time. Patrick Spangler selects the outside, rather heads down low. We're back to green. And Isaac is back out on the racetrack. Three wide for the third spot off at turn number 2, just off the Mission 22 restart. Wilson looks for the third position off of Randy Shreves. Look at this smorgasbord. Off at turn number 2 is their 2x2x2x2. Landis looks 3 wide. Templeton sends it in. Look out. Aiden Young goes around and he collects another. That's Pat Boyce upside down. 2 on their noggins. We're under the third caution flag. And that helps out Isaac big time. He's back in the race. Here's a look at what happened to the New Hampshire Rocket. And just some slight contact with Dan McLaren. And, ooh, man, that was a heavy lick that Pat Boyce took in the aftermath, too. He's right on board here with Aiden. Now let's go with Pat Boyce as well in car number 41. Dead center. He was committed to the bottom, and already Aiden was there. And apparently we had more action take place with Preston Cranmer and Dan McLaren. What happened here? This was after the yellow flag came out. Preston was sideways, and in front is the 07. That's a tough break, so we are halfway home. 13, 14 drivers on the lead lap. And so Gentleman Jack holds serve. It's a single file restart here, so I don't believe we completed a lap in time. Halfway home, 15 up, 15 down. Spangler a car length behind the 217. The race for third also breaks out too. Here comes Trees. He wants third back. Nips it, I think, at the line, but back up front, the race for the lead. Here comes the high side banger. Patrick Spangler takes the 39 back out to the front, but Hit looks to slide it up the racetrack. Spangler's got him clear. Bad slider from Jack Hit. New leader, the 39. Yellow flag came out, though. Was it before Spangler came across the line? And it came across, and it came before he did. Wow. Kemper and McLaren get together. Here's a look at what happened. Kemper catches the wall on 2 wheels. Oh, ouch, that's a heavy hit. Roof first, top first, into the wall. That was nasty. Here's the onboard here with Kemper. Let's see what we're McLaren. Fortunately, could not get that car to roll over in time. And McLaren climbed out of the car. He's done for the day. So Tyler Wilson currently in third. Patrick Spangler runs second. But your leader is currently Gentleman Jack Hitt in that Hooters ride. We go single file once again. I believe single file for the rest of this one. Biggest mover of this race is Brandon Templeton from 14th to 6th. 13 laps to go, back to the green. Spangler wants to try it on the outside once again, but Jack doesn't want to take the risk to open up the bottom for him. It hangs on to the lead. 12 laps to go to the race for third between Shreves and Wilson. Wilson has the third spot once again. Spangler just so much better on corner exit than Jack Hitt is. Hitt sends it in. Does he force the slider? Yes, he does up the racetrack. Spangler, does he get a run here coming across the line? They're side by side in a 1. The high side banger on the top shelf to the lead off of 2. 2 cars in third, and Tyler Wilson head up the track once again. Spangler tries to run away with it, and he's the new leader with 10 laps to go. Wilson downstairs, can't get the 2 spot to work. Randy Shreves back in 4th, Blake Chapman 6th, and your biggest mover, Brandon Templeton, look to send it on the outside. Barely room for Brandon Templeton up on that cushion. It's like trying to fit into a 1-bedroom apartment. Mike Cranmer has crashed. We stay under the green flag. But we've got the race breaking out again for the lead. Here comes Jack Hitt underneath on Patrick Spangler. And there is lap traffic ahead. That is the 70 of Mike Cranmer, who spins out, and that brings the yellow flag out. That, I don't know if I want to say was uncalled for or not. I know he was trying to get out of the way of the leaders, but probably just lost it on his own. Here's a look. This was, I think, how he fell to the back of the field, I believe, where he lost it, spun it into the apron, kept it going. But I believe this is when he was getting the car back going. He lost it all on his own. I don't even think he was trying to get out of the leader's way. He was just having so much trouble on corner entry. Too much throttle, I would say. And that stacks the field back up with 7 laps to go. Alrighty, here we go with 7 to go. Spangler brings them back to green. Nice restarts from both the top two drivers, as well as Tyler Wilson in third. It looks for a run underneath with 6 laps to go. Out of 2, stays on that tail tank of the 39. Wilson looks to make it a 3-man show. Nice diving for the 217 for the lead. Spangler hangs on with 5 laps remaining. Slide job by Head. Spangler counters back. And let's see if Spangler decides to throw the slide job. He hangs on to the bottom. Oh, watch out, Head. He had to back out of it. Spangler shut the door on him right in his face. Told him, I'm sorry, but this business is closed. Right at the last second. 4 laps to go. Shreves underneath Wilson for third. Had to back out of it briefly. Make it 3 laps to go. Spangler versus Head for the win. Somebody is taking win 1 of the season in the Wingless Warrior division. Two to go. It's not over. 2 car lengths separate the top 2. But watch out for Wills on the high side. Yellow flag is out. Brandon Templeton has crashed it into turn 1, and we are headed to overtime. Here's a look at what happened to Brandon Templeton. I believe it was him and Jeff Barker. This is going to turn 1. Templeton caught the wall himself. Around he goes. Oh, Barker gets collected in it hard. Right on board here with the 31. Man, look at the tight racing he and Randy Shreves had. Here's Jeff Barker. Nowhere to go. And just a swan dive into the clay. Alrighty, so first of 2 attempts at a green-white checkered. You know the rules. If we get to the white flag, we end the race. If we get a yellow before the white, we'll do it one more time. Spangler looks for another win this season. The defending champ, Jack Hitt, wants to get back into victory lane. Tyler Wilson could possibly spoil the party for the top 2 in his second Wingless Warrior star of the season. Randy Shreves has a win this season. He's looking for his second should something happen to the top 3 as a whole. As we're coming back to green, green-white checkered. Overtime, number 1 underway, and Jack Hitt caught sleeping on the restart. That was the best restart that Spangler's had all day. We got one sideways in 1, and that's Blake Chapman. Also in it is Solis, and same with Tyler Wilson. We have one more. No, we stay green. They did not throw the caution out. They're coming to white with 1 lap to go, and Jack Hitt's all over Spangler. Hitt looks to see if he's got room on the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. Tried to use Spangler's line into turn number 3. Spangler doesn't go for the slider. Jack Hitt off of turn number 4. He steals the win from Spangler. Oh, baby. Last lap past turns 3 and 4. Save the right rear tire when needed. And Jack Hitt was able to find the cookies from where Mama hides them. And he's going to celebrate this one well. Oh, Isaac, how about that finish?
Yeah, you started getting excited, and so I was sitting there driving on the front stretch, and I was like watching out the left side of my car, and I watched the pass, and holy smokes, man, was it awesome!
That was incredible. So while we get the finishers in here, biggest mover tonight, Terry Landis up 7 spots to finish in 4th. Here are your official results. Jack hit the winner. Patrick Spangler finished in 2nd. 3rd, Randy Shreves. 4th went to Terry Landis. 5th, Bob DeGood. 6th, Preston Cranmer. 7th, Brandon Templeton. 8th, Pat Boyce. 9th, Blake Chapman. 10th, Mike Cranmer. 11th, Isaac Salas. 12th, Jeff Barker. 13th, Tyler Wilson. 14th, Jeff Kemper. 15th, Dan McLaren. 16th, Aiden Young. 17th, Steve Maurer. 18th, Joseph Grandy. We've got your top 3 all in here. Let's begin with our 3rd place finisher and Randy Shreves. Randy, I had a feeling that you were hoping for a second green-white checkered attempt after what happened to Tyler Wilson. Were you surprised the yellow didn't come out by iRacing? Oh, Randy, you got a copy? You're on mute.
You got me now?
Yes, we do.
Sorry about that.
You're good. Need me to ask it again?
Please.
All right. So I had a feeling you were hoping for a second overtime when Tyler Wilson came out. Were you surprised that iRacing did not throw out the yellow flag?
Yeah, it was definitely surprising. In a tough break for Aid, me and him were, or for Tyler there, me and him were just having an awesome race. It was definitely going to be a great battle to the end. But either way, got up on the podium. That's what I needed. I know I'm up there in the points, so anytime I can finish in the podium is a plus.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on this run?
I definitely want to thank everybody at Coast to Coast, you for broadcast, and everybody at LGR Motorsports, ABR Setup Shop, Redline Design Company, One Wish Foundation, Wraps and Stitches, KSB Builders, Finish Line Repair, and I want to thank everybody for watching.
All right, man, we'll let you go. Great job tonight, and hopefully we see you in the late model.
Thank you, Marty.
Randy Shreves, our 3rd place finisher. Let's go to Patrick Spangler, our 2nd place finisher. Patrick, got to be a tough pill to swallow. Did you feel like in the turns number 3 and 4 with the way the midgets were driving that you had it?
No, I knew I could see him coming up behind me in the 1 and 2, and I had to stay down. I don't want to cut him off there, but I knew the top line was faster once I think he was at my right rear down the backstretch. It's just so hard to tell with a new track state because the track doesn't change, but we lost a second in lap time, so it's he ran a good race.
Were you considering going into turn 3 throwing the slide job?
No, because I wasn't quite sure where he was at. I could hear him to my right, and I was coming in way too shallow, and I thought I don't want to wipe us both out, and I'd rather take a second there. Yeah. He's a clean racer. I'm not going to try to throw a slider on. I'm not sure if I'm going to clear him.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Shout out to you and Isaac for doing the broadcast. I imagine he was on the broadcast since it's in here. Roger from the league, Train Wheels Racing, with Tyler there. Dan Uncle back home watching, and the green and white checkers for, I think that's 2 weeks in a row I've lost the midgets on the green and white checkers
yeah,
now.
That's
So,
true. Yeah.
yeah. So, I got that going for me right now. Let's see if we can break the streak here in the late models.
Alrighty, man. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Patrick Spangler, our 2nd place finisher. Now we go to Victory Lane Extreme eSpeed TV, Victory Lane, to talk with your winner and jacket. Jack, can you believe it? How does that feel to win on a last lap pass?
Oh, that felt good. I don't think I've won a race since the dirt update, so I think that might be the first one. So glad to get that out of the way, finally.
Walk us through your strategy at the white flag. What you knew you had a chance at it on Patrick Spangler.
Well, I felt like the last 10 laps or so there, I was definitely faster through 3 and 4, running just a little lower than he was. So I did not want that caution to come out at the end, but I knew I had to get close to him and give myself a shot. So I don't remember what he did in turn 1 and 2 there. He did something that kind of surprised me. I think that might have given me the opportunity that I had there, and sent it in there and hope for the best and came out in front.
Curious, did you happen to see what your right rear tire was at?
No, it was it didn't feel good though, I can tell you that.
Alrighty.
I forgot to check, but yeah, I definitely felt like I had used up a lot of it in the first half of that race, and probably some guys behind us that, given a little more green flag run, might have been able to get it some speed past us, but
Gotcha.
worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, who do you want to give shout-outs to on this run?
Shout out to you guys putting on the broadcast, everyone behind the leagues, doing everything, to keep everything going. Shout out to my wife giving me time, and last night to get the early bird discount for the Knoxville Nationals. If anybody isn't signed up, need to get going.
Smart man to promote it. Absolutely. We got it coming up in a couple weeks. We'll let you go. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Marty.
Jack hit your winner in Extreme eSpeed TV Victory Lane. What a finish of the Midgets, and that's just our first race. We've got one more race left to go, ladies and gentlemen, and that, of course, we are talking about is the late model. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G4 TV.
For Lucy Olsen, she has her first point. Yeah, Lucy Olsen, talented sophomore.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We are just about getting set to go here for the late models. The late models here brought to you by tonight our good friends at Extreme Speed TV. Marty Sakala with you alongside Isaac. Plus, we got a good one here just around the corner. And the late models, Isaac, with the new dirt model, have been a lot of fun to play around with.
Oh man, they're I think the craziest part is how challenging they actually are now. Before, yes, super fun cars, super fun to drive, always excellent racing. But man, oh man, let me tell you, these things are another breed now. And we're only in the pros, we're not even in the supers.
Yeah, the supers are crazy. The pros, though, are a lot of fun for us to watch. So
Yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of fun to drive too.
yes, but anyway, we have the field gridded up for heat race number 1. Heat race number 1 brought to you by Line Racing Bodies. Here's the starting lineup, and on the pole position, it is Mark Gilbert in the car number 17. Next to the 218 of Superman, Kurt Schatzer. Row number 2, the inside, brings us Gentleman Jack Hitt in the 217. Next to Randy Shreves in the 56. Row 3, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. And next, the salesman, Blake Chapman in the number 20. Rounding out the field, the 31, driven by Brandon Templeton. So look at that there, Isaac. We have got 3rd, 4th, and 5th, our entire podium in heat race number 1.
Yep, I think they just wanted to hang out together. They made sure to all pull pretty similar draws.
Yeah, most likely is the case, so.
Yeah, just wanted to hang out together.
Field should be going green next time by. Winner will start on pole here. 14, if not 13 drivers make up the car count for late model competition this evening. And we are set to go racing for 8 laps. Winner starts on pole position here at the Cedar Lake Speedway. Glad you could join us for late model action here on week 6 of the Sunday Night Showdown. We're green. And it is Mark Gilbert with the advantage. That's 4 wide off of turn number 2,
yeah.
Isaac. Oh,
that was
my
insane.
goodness.
I'm glad they're still 3 wide.
3 by 3. This ain't the Indy 500, folks. Gilbert leads lap number 1. Schatzer on the outside, high, wide, and handsome. Shreves gets sideways. He's stuck in the middle. And Blake Chapman moves to 4th, but we've got a race for the lead. Here comes Superman, Isaac.
Yeah, it's Superman, and then Mark's around the bottom. The bottom in 1 and 2 is almost insanely fast compared to the top, and 3 and 4, I think the top is just absolutely insane compared to the bottom. Oh, Superman.
Run. He caught the wall, though, which helped out Blake Chapman and Jack Hitt. Close in just a tad bit. Right on board here with Chapman. He just ran the quickest lap last time by at a 14:04. Now decides to shut the door on Jack Hitt. Here comes Schatzer, though, as he still wants that race lead halfway home, and he won, Isaac.
Yep, and Schatzer and Blake here running top. A lot of people are actually running the top here, and look at that middle line come right through the middle of 3 and 4. Wow, it's fast.
Look at this aerial shot here coming to the start-finish line. Top 3 cars, nose to tail. You can throw a blanket underneath them. Your 2nd and 3rd place drivers up the track. Well, Gilbert really smooth on the bottom. That's what's helping him out here really well.
Yeah, that bottom, if you're smooth, you can be faster, but here comes Schatzer with the momentum. See if Blake can follow him right around.
Can he get the banking off at turn number 2 to get the drive? He keeps it straight, closes in just a bit, now hangs on to it in the middle line. This time, Schatzer closes in just a bit with 1 more lap to go. Schatzer looks, dancing with the double up on 1 and 2. Takes it up to the top shelf. Can't get the lead yet. Does Gilbert play defense low, or does he go high? Everybody goes low. Off at turn number 4, Mark Gilbert takes heat race 1. He's on pole. Photo for 2nd and for 4. Schatzer 2nd, Chapman 3rd, Spangler 4th. Hitt, Templeton, Shreves, that rounds out the field. What a heat race. We now move on to heat race number 2. Here's how they line up. Jeff Kemper on the pole position. He is next to Pat Boyce in car number 41. Row number 2, the detective, Steven Speeds, the 55, next to Soupy. Dan McLaren's in the 88. And rounding out the field in row number 3, the New Hampshire Rocket, Aiden Young in the 69. And next to him, Isaac Salas, slide jobs in the 5. Alrighty, man, best of luck.
Appreciate it, buddy.
One lap until we take the green flag. And winner will start on the outside of the front row. This determines the outside line here as a whole for the 30-lap feature. Ready for the green for heat race number 2. Kemper with the lead early, up the track he goes. Pat Boyce looks underneath for the top spot. Couldn't get the drive off like what Kemper did. McLaren up on the extreme outside. Here comes Speeds underneath for second on the 41 of Pat Boyce. Kemper leads the open lap. Oh, watch out, Salas with a mega send. Caught those Uke tires that hang out in turns 1 and 2. 3 wide for third. Speeds looks for the lead, doesn't work. McLaren sends the rear end in. Nice power move to get past Stevens, to get past Pat Boyce for the 3rd position. Salas throws the slider up on Pat Boyce to take away 4th. Here's the race for the lead. Here comes the 55 of Steven Speeds. As we'll set the double box up here so you can see what it's like to have Salas's perspective. He's racing for the 3rd position. Halfway home in heat race number 2. Speeds with an 0.8 of a second advantage on Jeff Kemper. Salas is 3rd. McLaren 4th, followed by Boyce and Young. Salas throws the slide job for second spot. Man, that slider line is just chef's kiss at the moment. Does Kemper know it? Decides not to throw the slider. And Salas clears for P2. Now hangs out on the bottom. He closed in again on Steven Speeds that last time by, but there's 1 lap remaining in heat race number 2. And through 3 and 4, Steven Speeds cruises to a heat 2 victory. Salas 2nd, Kemper 3rd, McLaren 4th, Boyce 5th, and Aiden Young 6th. So preliminary action is in the books. We've got the feature coming up next to the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Are you listening? Are you missing me like I'm missing you? This just can't be true. Did you have to leave so soon?
When Steve died, the outpouring of love across the country was amazing. We realized we were in a position that no racing family wants to be in. The good that was coming out of that was that these dollars had come together to support us. And we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation is important to me. It keeps Steve present in what we all do and what we all love, and that's racing.
My favorite memory of Steve was just how nice of a guy he was and how genuine he was.
I'm just sure that Steve would be very honored and thankful for the foundation and how it's honoring his name and all the good that the foundation does.
You go to a racetrack on Saturday, nobody expects to come out of there hurt. Unfortunately, sometimes it does happen. And thankfully we got people like the King family and everybody that's involved with the Steve King Foundation to help these families.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and the Stephen King Foundation reached out to me and told me that they had a check. I was absolutely floored. I just thought that they did this for drivers or crew members that got injured. You know, racing, they always say racing's like a big family.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash, found out my brain was swelling and bleeding, pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal. I mean, it's kind of inspired me to start my own foundation within racing.
They were such a caring family, and they wanted to help others, and being able to just be associated with them, to carry on his name, to help other racers and their families to survive in the sport that we love so much has just been a real honor for me.
The thing that gets lost in translation is, yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are set to go for our 30-lap feature in the Pro Late Models. Let's meet the field, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the catalytic recovery starting lineup. On the pole position, it's Mark Gilbert in the number 17. Next to him, it's Steven Spies in the 55. Row number 2, it's Superman Kurt Schatzer in the 218. And next to him, it's the 5 of Slide Job, Isaac Salas. Row number 3 on the inside, it's the salesman Blake Chapman. Next to him in the 181, it's Jeff Kemper. Row 4 starting 7th, it's the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in car number 39. And next to him in 8, Soupy Dan McLaren in the 88. Rounding out the top 10 this evening, the 217 of Gentleman Jack Head. And rounding out the top 10, the 41 of Fast Boys. Row 6, Brandon Templeton in the 31, and the New Hampshire Rocket of Aiden Young in the 69. And rounding out the field this evening, the 56, driven by Randy Trees. All right, we're just set to go here for our feature. 30 laps tonight around Cedar Lake Speedway. Isaac, for the heck of it, you got to pick to win.
Oh geez, come on, why are you putting me on the spot like this? Just because he's starting up front, and I think he's in need of a win, I might jinx him, so I apologize. I'm going with Mark.
Alrighty, sounds good. I am gonna go with the 218 at Kurt Schatzer. We'll see what happens, but best of luck to you tonight, buddy.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Salas getting set to go. He starts from the 4th position. Well, we are ready to go for the loose start. Thank you all so much for choosing to spend your Sunday night with us. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast? Gilbert and Spies bring us to the green flag. Week 6, showtime in Cedar Lake. Spies and Gilbert door to door for the race lead off at turn 4. Lap 1 up on the board, led by the 55. Gilbert can't get the high side to work. Here comes Schatzer underneath for P2. On the Venom 17, Isaac Salas rocks and rolls on the outside, but he's challenged for 4th by the 20 of the salesman and Blake Chapman. Back to the race for P2. See if Schatzer can get the bite off the corner. He can't. Gilbert hangs on for right now. This does also allow Salas to close in. Look how close Gilbert was to that outside wall. Excellent place to be right now off the corners. From the sounds of it, if you maybe later on this race, the low line could be the place to be. Here comes Salas downstairs on Schatzer for the 3rd position. He's right on board with Slide Job. Schatzer hanging on to P3 for right now. but he stays single file up on the high side. But the slider line, the best place to be. I think everyone probably learned from Isaac after heat race number 1. Gilbert looks to go higher up on the cushion. A nice drive off of turn 2, stays on the spoiler of the 55 of Steven Speeds. He's right on board with the detective. Got Super Dirt Car Series on the hood of the 17 as he looks underneath for the race lead, but Speed slams the door. Just took the green at Wii Sport. Not going to know who's leading at the moment. I'm waiting until this race ends so Isaac and I will be able to catch it. Hi, Dean, if you're watching. Great race for third behind them. Schatzer, Salas, Chapman, Spangler. Let's double box this one so we can show you what it's like in the race. We'll lead the race for third from Salas' cam. Salas with a fight underneath on hitting him. That's Blake Chapman for fourth. Taking the drive though to work on corner exit for Blake, so Isaac hangs on to that fourth spot. Gilbert the only one running the high side. See if he can get anything going, but he's lost time. 4/10 of a second back on the 55. Kurt Schatzer's third, 1 second behind the leader in Steven Speeds. Patrick Spangler now all over the 20 spoiler. That's the race for P5. Your top 2 in the Renegades points coming on in. Speaking of which, your top 5 in standings coming on into tonight. Steven Speeds, the points leader with 2 wins on the year. Kurt Schatzer a win in second. And 15 points separate your top 2. Blake Chapman third, Jeff Kemper fourth, Patrick Spangler round out the top 5. Coming on in, the best race on track is for third. And Salas can't take the third spot away from Superman. Blake Chapman wants that fourth spot again. Trying everything he can do, but I think this track is just too rubbered in. Salas and Gilbert, the Venom teammates, decide to dance with a double off of turn number 2. That helps Salas close in. He looks underneath on Schatzer for the third position. That worked well for Salas, but the bad exit allows Chapman to look underneath for fourth position. A risky move by Slide Job, doesn't pay off the best though. He hangs on to fourth for right now. 18 laps currently in the books. Back on board with the 5 of Salas. Great corner off of turn number 2. Can he get anything to work off of turn 4? No, Schatzer slams the door right in his face. A 3-car battle for the bottom step of the podium. Here comes Chapman underneath. Oh, Schatzer caught the wall. And Salas gets Chapman. The salesman goes around. Caution is out. Once we saw Schatzer catch the wall, I had a feeling it was gonna get ugly. Take a look and show you what happened once again in another angle. Schatzer caught the wall, down to Salas, down to Chapman. When you catch the wall, it's just a hang-on situation. On board Blake. Two wheels off the ground. I want to say, yeah, Chapman did get the car in reverse. And keep it on the lead lap. So Chapman drops to the rear in the 12th position. And we go double file. Speed selects the inside line. Gilbert to the outside of him. That's row number 1. Schatzer third, Salas fourth. Patrick Spangler rounds out the top 5. Our Mission 22 restart will be watched from the Chapman Racing draw as we're set to come back to the green. 10 laps to go. High side gets jammed up badly. Gilbert caught sleeping. He falls all the way back to 4th. And Salas falls down to 6th. Not what that outside line wanted. The lap gets scored with Speeds as the leader. Kemper has spun it in turn 4. We stay under the green flag. But it's the Venom teammates for 4th spot on the racetrack. The top 3 stay single file. Hayden Young, your biggest mover of this race, from 12th to 6th. Wants to break into the top 5 for the first time today. And we'll see if he can do it in the Gambler ride. Salas tries the slider line once again. Gilbert with a smooth corner exit. And now he closes in on Spangler for 3rd, and same with Schatzer. The 218 moves up to P2 past the 39. Gilbert up on 2 wheels. He's in the pit lane. We stay green. His night is done. So Salas moves up into the 4th position with 5 laps to go. And he wants Spangler for a podium spot. Hayden Young wants that 3rd position too. The high side banger just rolls it up on the top. Meanwhile, Speeds a 1.5 second advantage on the 218 of Superman. Spangler, nice drive off at turn 2 to hang on to 3rd. Will somebody possibly in this race for 2nd get desperate on the final lap? We'll just have to see, but we've got 3 laps of racing to go. Lap by lap at a time. Spangler kissed the wall in turn 2. Hangs on to her, keeps 3rd, and he's all over the 218 of Schatzer. On board with Superman from the rear end with 2 circuits remaining. Race for 2nd, race for 4th. Salas with the slider up on Hayden Young. This time by, though. White flag is out. 1 to go for the 55 of Steven Speeds. The Gambler Motorsports, number 55. Your points leader coming in by 15 markers. It's his 3rd win of the season. Off at 4. Speeds takes the win at Cedar Lake. 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Schatzer, Spangler, Young. Salas falls to 5th at the end. Young picks up the hard charger award, up 8 spots. It's Steven Speeds that goes to victory lane for the 3rd time this season. Kurt Schatzer 2nd, Patrick Spangler 3rd, Hayden Young 4th, Isaac Salas 5th, Dan McLaren 6th, Blake Chapman 7th, Brandon Templeton 8th, Randy Shreves 9th, Jack Hitt 10th, Jeff Kemper 11th, Mark Gilbert 12th, and Pat Boyce finishes in 13th. Well, Isaac, we had a fun one tonight.
Yeah.
Had a couple of long runs there.
These things are fun, man.
Absolutely, they are. Let's get right into it and talk with our 3rd place finisher and Patrick Spangler. Patrick, positives you take away from tonight's late model feature?
Just solid podium there, and I had 0x. I hit the wall there at the end, so that kind of stinks. But yeah, just a solid top 3 on a. I think the pre-gen started at 42%, so it was pretty slick and very hard to pass. So I was glad Mark fell asleep on the restart there and was able to gain 3 spots.
I was actually just about to ask you that question, so you answered it for me there. Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the car?
Just you for the awesome broadcast each week. Train Wheels Racing, Roger Run the League, Dad, Uncle back home watching, Mark for the sleep-in, and yeah, hopefully I'll catch you back here next Sunday.
All right, we'll let you go. Don't worry. He has the alarm clock on next week, so.
Yeah, hopefully not. If I'm behind him, hopefully he does.
All righty. Great job tonight.
Thanks.
Patrick Spangler finishes 3rd. Kurt Schatzer, our 2nd place finisher. Let's talk with Superman. Kurt, what more did you need this evening for Steven?
Oh, I don't think I had anything tonight for Steven. He was kind of the class of the field. Maybe to win my heat race and been able to start on the front row with him, but tell you what, I was just kind of tracing the track all night. I made one mess up down there, I think in 1 and 2, and stuffed it in the wall. And I got to give a shout out to Isaac there for not running over me. I think it caused a wreck there with Blake. So I got to give him a shout out. Appreciate that. Other than that, I mean, I felt like there towards the end, maybe Isaac and Spangler might have had a better car than me, but I was just able to keep it in front with the track being so slick. Yeah. All in all, it was a good night. I'm happy to get on the podium. Good points tonight. I'll take it and move on to the next one.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I got to thank Jay with Dirt Track Bank and everything they do to help all racers around the country there. And Got Your Six Racing Network with Joe Halter and the boys over there at Got Your Six, or Hammer Down Racing, Brandon Templeton and Brian Dickens.
Alrighty. We'll let you go. Great job tonight.
Thank you.
Kurt Schatz, our second place finisher. Let's go to Victory Lane and talk with your winner. The points leader does it again. Steven Spees, win number 3. That's got to feel good, a dominant victory for you.
Any win always feels good, Marty. Come on.
Wait, it was dominant, though. You were the class of the field this evening.
Yeah, I just kept my eyes out the front and, didn't really hear anybody coming right up on my bumper. So just trying to hit those marks, be consistent. Was struggling a little bit in 1 and 2. There's a big bump like right where I wanted to enter. So trying to keep myself either above or below that. As long as I did that, felt all right. Just be easy on that throttle and just, put it in the middle, and it seemed to work. So I don't know.
What were your thoughts when that yellow flag came out with, I think, what was it, 10 to go or something?
Yeah, it was. We were at the 20-lap mark, so we weren't quite to single file. So I wasn't real thrilled about it. I hadn't looked down at my relative, so I don't really know what kind of a gap I did or didn't have at that point. Like I said, I didn't hear anybody challenging me.
You were gone, if you were wondering.
All right. So, I certainly didn't want to caution. I was, at the same time, I don't know that we would have caught the lap traffic, but, that's always a wild card that you don't know what's going to happen. I think last night I was watching Lucas Oil late models, and Jonathan Davenport about got sideswiped and taken out of the lead late in a race. Not that I'm ever going to be any sort of a JD, but I can pretend, I guess.
Well, next week, taking a look at the schedule here, week 7 is Lima Land Midgets, Pro Late Models at Weed Sport. What's your outlook look like going in?
Weed Sport can be a mess. I like the track. Like, I don't mind racing it, but it can sometimes turn into a caution fest. Lima Land on Midgets sounds like a good one. Hopefully I'll be home and able to make that. I like the Midgets on the small tracks, not so much on the bigger tracks. But if we can get a good heat draw and stay up front in a heat race, Weed Sport ought to be all right.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Let's say some thanks to Extreme E-Speed, I believe title sponsor for this series, if I'm not incorrect. And then, just thanks to everybody for coming out on Sunday night. I know there's a lot going on in the summers and vacations and busy and all the things we got to do. So, thanks for you to coming in and taking care of us tonight.
All righty. Well, we'll let you go. Congratulations. A great win for you.
Thank you very much.
Steven Spees with the win here this evening. It was another fun night here of the Sunday Night Showdown. Isaac, I'll bring it back to you here. Final thoughts on tonight.
Really good racing all around. I thought honestly, I thought the midget race was actually almost even more fun than the late models, which I was not ready for. It was really fun. But yeah, man, great racing all around. The multi-groove racing that started just since this new update's been insane. You got to see some guys that they had throttle control, and you kind of expected them to adapt pretty well, and so far they have. Like, look at Steven. I know 3 wins now, and yeah, man, I'm loving the new update. I'm loving how competitive everybody is, and week in, week out, even if I can only join for 2 weeks out of the season, it's been fun racing.
So that'll do it for us here this evening. So glad you could join us all on behalf of everyone at the Coast to Coast Racing League, Extreme E-Speed TV, all the fine drivers and sponsors, Roger Craig, Preston Kramer, and their fine group of admins. On behalf of Isaac Salas, Marty Sakala signing off here for tonight. Jack Hitt, Steven Spees, your winners here in the Midgets and Pro Late Models. So long.